How did David kill Goliath? The story of the young shepherd boy named David and his battle with the Philistine giant Goliath can be found in the first book of Samuel, chapter 17 in the Old Testament Bible. David was the youngest of the 8 sons of Jesse who lived in Bethlehem. 3 of his older brothers are serving under the Israelite king Saul, fighting the war with the Philistines who are led by a giant named Goliath. The Israelites were very much afraid of Goliath, who had continuously challenged them to fight and insulted them because not one among them was courageous enough to meet his challenge. One day, David was sent by his father to bring food to his 3 brothers and to see how they are doing in the battlefield. David left the care of his sheep to another shepherd and went to the valley of Elah where the Israelites were fighting against the Philistines. David arrived at the camp as Goliath was taunting the Israelites, and he saw that the Israelites were terrified. He overheard some of the Israelites talking about how King Saul will reward anyone who can kill Goliath with great wealth, the hand of his daughter in marriage, and tax exemption for the challenger's family. David became interested and inquired some more, but when his older brother Eliab heard about it, he got upset with David, reminding David that he had the flock of sheep to take care of, and accused David of being so proud of himself to have gone to the camp only to watch the battle. David's interest in fighting Goliath, however, reached King Saul, who sent for him. Upon seeing David, King Saul is not convinced that David will be able to go into battle with Goliath because he was only a young man while Goliath was a seasoned warrior. But David confidently told King Saul that he had been taking care of his father's flock of sheep, and told Saul how he had killed a lion and a bear who attacked his sheep with his bare hands. He assured King Saul that he could defeat Goliath, because Goliath had insulted the armies of the living God, and he was sure that the Lord who had rescued him from the paws of the lion and the bear would rescue him from the paw of the Philistine giant. He was dressed by King Saul with his own tunic, coat of armor, and a bronze helmet, but David declined to wear it. Instead, he went to the brook, took 5 smooth stones, and put it in his shepherd's bag, and with his shepherd's staff and a sling in hand, he approached the Philistine giant. The Bible described Goliath as having a height of 6 cubits and a span, which is around 9 feet, 9 inches tall. He wore a bronze helmet, and his bronze coat of mail weighed 125 pounds. He also carried a javelin, and just the tip of his spear was 15 pounds, which indicates a man with tremendous strength. The Bible did not tell us how tall David was, but because he tried on Saul's tunic, armor, and helmet and it fitted him, he must have been around 6 feet tall. King Saul was at first hesitant to allow David to fight Goliath because Goliath was an experienced warrior and David was just a young man, probably 15 to 19 years old. David was not an underdog compared to Goliath in terms of size or experience in battle. David was determined to win the battle with Goliath, not on his own strength, but with the strength of the Lord. Face to face with Goliath, who sneered at him and ridiculed and cursed him, David courageously and confidently declared,
"You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. And then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. And everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues his people, but not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and he will give you to us."
After this, Goliath moved to attack David, but David quickly ran out to meet him. David reached into his shepherd's bag, took out 1 stone, hurled it with his sling and hit Goliath in the forehead, knocking the giant down to the ground. David then ran over to Goliath, pulled the sword from Goliath's sheath, and killed and cut off the giant's head. We all face giants in our lives, in terms of problems that seem unbearable. It is not the size of our problem that makes us an underdog. It is the size of our faith. Like David, we can face and overcome any giant by stepping out in faith and believing that the Lord, as he had promised in Deuteronomy 20:4, will be with us, will fight for us against our enemies, and he will give us victory. David killed Goliath with his strong faith in God and the strength that comes from God. Like David's story, God is capable of defeating giants in our lives.